Welcome to Awesome Code. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and like my video. This video is the quickest way to learn the basics of Python. First, we are going to learn about variables and strings. Variables are used to store values. A string is a series of characters surrounded by single or double quotes. So let us print a hello world message by using a print function. So we are going to type print, and inside it we are going to print hello world. And now we are going to save the hello world string in a variable, hello message variable, and here is our hello world string, and we can print this variable value hello message. We can also use f string. We can use variables in string. So for example, we have first name is set to a sim, and last name set to Iqbal, and now we can set a full name variable by using the f string, and this will be our first name inside double quotes. This will be our string. First, I'm going to add a first name and a space, and in curly braces a last name. And now we are going to print the full name, which will print the first name and last name. Full name. We can run our code and check the output. So here we can see the hello world string printed by this line, and then we save hello world string into our hello message and also printed that variable's value, which is also a hello world. Then we set the value for the first name variable with the first name, and we set the last name, and then we use f string to print the values of a first name and last name by passing it to print function here. Now we are going to learn about list. A list stores a series of items in a particular order. You can access items using an index or within a loop. So first we are going to make a list. So our list, the name of the list is names, and here we have string elements of the list: Tom, Peter, John. And now we can get the first item in a list. First item, that will be over here, names, and the index 0. The first name is at index 0, list start with index 0, and the second is on index 1, and the third one on index 2. And we can print this, print first item. And over here, now I'm going to get the last item in a list. We can do that. That will be our last name, and we are going to use names, and in the square brackets we are going to pass -1. This will give us a last name, which will be John. Then we can also print that last name by passing a toPrint function. Let's run our code and check the output. And we can see we get the first name and then the last name from our list printed. We can also loop through our list using a for loop. So over here we are going to use for loop for name in names. We are going to print name. So let's try this one too. Run our code. And here we have item of our list printed. And we can also add items to a list. Let's create another empty list. These will be bikes. And here we are going to add bikes.append red line. And we are going to add one more element by using a append method. Track. And now we can print our list by passing it to print function. So here is our list with those elements added to our list by using a append method. We can also make a numerical list. Here I have a list with the name squares, and this is an empty list. So we are going to use for loop for x in range. We are going to use range function 1 to 11. That will create numbers between 1 to 10, and we are going to square those numbers and add to our squares list. Squares dot append. Take square of each number. The number is in variable x, and after the square we are going to append to our list, and I will print this list. Squares. Run our code. And here we can see the squares of numbers between 1 to 10. Now we are going to see example of slicing a list. So I will use our list names, and I will print first two elements of the list. First two, and this will be names, and we are going to use the colon and two, this slice notation, and here I'm going to print our list of first two elements. Run our code. And here are the first two names from our list. We can also copy a list. So this will be our copy of names. We can assign it names and column inside a square brackets, and we can print the copy list, copy of names. And here we have the copy of our list. I will just clear the terminal, and now we are going to see example of a tuple. Tuples are similar to lists, but the items in a tuple cannot be modified. Let's see how to make a tuple. Here we have dimensions, and here we are going to pass in 300 and 500, and we can print our tuple. And here is our tuple output. Now we are going to learn about if statements. If statements are used to test for particular conditions and response appropriately. So first we are going to see the conditional test. For example, we have a variable with some value such as 56, and now we are going to check for equals. So we are going to use x and with this some value. Here we are checking if these both the value are equal, and we can also check for not equals by this using not operator. Not equals 42, and now we are going to check greater than. So if we are checking here if x is greater than 42, and now we are going to check for greater than or equal to. We can do that if x is greater than or equal to 42. We can also check for less than if x is less than 42, the value in x, and now we are going to check for less than or equal to x less than or equal to 42. So these are conditional tests. Let's see example of a simple if test. So here we are going to have a variable age, and its value to set with person's age. So we'll just set its value to 25, And here we can use if condition. If age is greater than or equals to 18, we can print the message. You can vote. Let's run our code. And we can see that message printed. You can vote. And now we are going to see example of if else statement. We'll just clear the terminal and go back to our code. And here I will use if condition. If age is less than 4, then we are going to set the, I will just give a space after this. We are going to set ticket price to 0. Elif, that's for else if in other programming language. So this will be age less than 18. We are going to set the ticket price to 10. Else, if none of those conditions are met, then we are going to set the ticket price to 20. And at the end, we can print the price. Ticket price based on person's age. The ticket price for us is 20 because I set the age over here to 25. And over here in our conditions check, it falls under this else. And the price is 20 for that. Now we are going to learn about dictionaries in Python. Dictionaries store connections between pieces of information. Each item in a dictionary is a key value pair. So let's see example of a simple dictionary. Dictionaries are written with curly brackets and have keys and values. So I will create a dictionary of person names and their favorite programming languages. So this will be fav, and here are the curly braces, and inside first we will have a key. Key will be the name of the person, Tom, and Tom's favorite programming language is Python. Then we have another key value pair, Mike, and Mike favorite programming is Java. And we can access dictionary's value this way. So I'm going to print using f string. And here we are going to print the Tom's favorite programming is, and in curly braces we are going to, and inside our curly braces we are going to use the name of our dictionary, that is fav, and then in square brackets we are going to use the key, that will be Tom. By passing in key we can access the value. So let's print this first. And here we can see Tom's favorite programming is Python. And now we are going to learn how to add a new key value pair to our dictionary. So here is our dictionary, and here we are going to add a new key. This will be John, and John's favorite programming will be set to C++. And print our dictionary again, the whole dictionary. And here is our dictionary with the new key John and its value C++ also added. Now we are going to learn how to loop through all keys and value pairs. So first I'm going to use our dictionaries for loop, and here I'm going to use name, and this will be our key, and the value will be programming. That will be our programming language in our dictionary fav. And here I'm going to use its method items. It will return both key and value. And now I'm going to use f string and a print function to print key and values from our dictionary. So this would be names, name, and favorite, and here the value, the programming. Let's run our code. And here are names with their favorite programming languages. I will just clear the terminal and go back to our code. Now we are going to loop through all keys only. So over here, this will be same up to over here. I will write a new code instead of copying some from there. For name, because we are just going to print the keys, so for name in our dictionary fav dot keys, this will return all the keys from our dictionary, and we are going to print those keys. Print using f string, and here we are going to print names, the name, and run our code. We have curly braces missing over here. We want to print the value inside of our name variable, so that will be the key. And here are the keys printed from our dictionary. And now we are going to learn how to loop through all the values. So I will add another for loop for programming in our dictionary fav. And here we are going to use the values to get all the values from our dictionary. So fav dot and here print, and using f string, the curly braces, and then programming. Let's run our code. And here are the values from our dictionary. Now we are going to learn about user input. Your programs can prompt the user for input. All input is stored as a string. Let's see how to prompt for a value. For example, over here, I will have a variable name. And here we are going to use input function and the message. Please enter your name. And then we are going to print that name, adding hello, and the person's name. Run our code. And when we run our code, we get this prompt. Please enter your name. I'll enter Tom here. And we get this message printed. The greeting message, hello Tom. Now we are going to learn how to prompt for numerical input. For example, we have variable age and the input function. And inside, we are going to say, how old are you? And we need to convert that input. When we use input function, we read all the input from a user as a string. So we are going to convert it to integer by using int function. Pass age to our int function, and then it will convert our string to integer value. And if you want to convert the input to a float, we can do that too. Get the value of pi from the user. Input. What is the value of pi? And here we are going to use float function and pass in the input of the user, and it will be converted to a float value. Now we are going to learn about while loops. A while loop repeats a block of code as long as a certain condition is true. Let's see example of a simple while loop. For example, we have this variable. So I will have a variable value set to 1. And here we have while loop. We are going to check while value is less than or equal to 5. We are going to print the value. And then we need to increment that value. So we are going to increment 1 with by using and we can run our code and check that. And here are the values printed from 1 to up to 5 by using a while loop. Now we are going to learn how we can let the user choose when to quit from a loop. So I will have another variable message set to empty, and we are using a while loop over here, and here we are checking if message not equals to quit. If user don't want to quit, then keep reading the user message. So this will be message will be set to input from the user. We are using input function to get the input. Please enter your message. And now we can print the message. Let's run our code. I will add a column so we can separate the user input. And here is the prompt to enter a message. I will enter hello, and we get the hello printed, but the loop is still running. I will enter word. Now the word is also printed. If we want to quit from our loop, we need to enter quit message. So now I'm going to enter quit, and our program is terminated. So now we are going to learn about functions. Functions are name blocks of code designed to do one specific job. Information passed to a function is called an argument, and information received by a function is called a parameter. So let's see example of a simple function. We are going to use def keyword to define our function. Print user. This will print a username. First I'm going to use without an argument or parameter, so that will be our define print hello. So this function takes no parameters and just going to print a message hello. We need to call this function, so we can call by its name, print hello. And now we can run our code. And when we run our program, our function print hello, print this hello message. And now we will see example of passing an argument to our function. And now we are going to pass in, we are going to use the same name of a function over here. I will use def to define our function and print hello. And this time it will take a name as a parameter and display a personalized grading by using a print the f string. We are going to say hello and the name of the person. That would be name. Need a space after hello. And here we are going to pass an argument to our print hello function. Print hello. And where is the name? Jack. Let's run our code. And we get that grading message printed. We can also set default values for parameters. I will copy this function. And now I'm going to set the default value, the name's value to be Tom. If the user don't pass any argument, then the name's value will be Tom. So over here, hello Tom will be printed. Else the value that user passed in will be printed. So over here, I'm going to call both ways, print hello without an argument and print hello with the name Mike. So in first, we are not sending any arguments, so the default value will be set to Tom. And in the next call, we are sending the value for the name variable, so the name will be Mike over here. Hello Mike, the message. So let's run our code and check the output. And first time it printed Tom, the default value, because we didn't supply any argument. And in the next call, we pass in an argument and the name Mike is printed with the hello message. Functions can also return a value. So let's see example. We are going to define our function. Add numbers. It will take two parameters, x and y, and return the sum of these numbers. Return x plus y. And now we are going to save the return value in some variable, and we are going to call our function add numbers and pass in two values, 5 and 10, value for x and y, and then we are going to print the sum. So let's run our code. And here is the sum of those two numbers. Now we are going to learn about classes. A class defines the behavior of an object and the kind of information an object can store. The information in a class is stored in attributes, and functions that belong to a class are called methods. A child class inherits the attributes and methods from its parent class. So first we will learn how to create a simple class. We are going to use a class keyword with the class name, for example, dog. This class will represent a dog, and then we are going to define its init method, which takes a self-reference and name of the dog. And now we are going to initialize a dog object by setting its attributes value self dot name with the name get passed into our init method. And now we are going to define another method set, and it take a self-reference, and it is stimulating a setting. So we are going to print with the f string, and here we are going to print the dog name self dot name. Inside a class we can access class attribute by using self then dot then the attribute name. So over here is sitting, we can type it. And now we are going to create a object of this class. This will be my dog, and here will be the class name, and we need to pass in the dog name. So I will use the dog name Max, and now I'm going to print the name of my dog. Print my dog dot name is here is my dog name is my dog name. So now we can run our code. We can also call its method set. Let's do that too. My dog dot set. Need to close the curly braces over here, and also here. curly braces before this. Just the value we are printing for. And here is our dog name, and here's the message. Max is sitting. And just clear the terminal. Now we will learn about inheritance. I will just comment these print statements and the function call. And now I'm going to define the child class. That will be class. This will be good dog. And here we need to add the name of parent class, which is dog. This class represent a good dog, and we are going to define init method. Define init method of child class. Self and name. Now we are going to initialize the good dog by calling super's init method. And here we are going to pass in the name, so that name attributes value will be set in our parent class. And the child class inherits the attributes and the functions from our parent class. And now I'm going to define function in our child class. Bark. And this will take a self-reference and print woof woof. Now I'm going to create a object of our good dog. Good boy. This will be good dog. And we need to pass in our buddy. First I'm going to print the good boy name. Print f. Oh, print. Then f inside. Good boy dot name. This will print the dog name. He is a good boy. And then I'm going to call the function from parent class, good boy dot sit. and goodbye dot bark. So this is the function the child class inherits from a parent class, and the bark function is defined in child class only. So let's run our program and check the output. And here is the name of our dog. Buddy is a good boy, and Buddy is sitting. And message from our Buddy when we call bark, woof woof. Now we are going to learn about working with files. Your program can read from files and write to files. Files are open in a read mode by using R by default, but can also be open in a write mode by using W and append mode by using A. Let's see how to do it. First, we are going to read a file and storage line. I'm going to create a text file if I don't have already on my system. In my directory where my code is, I'm going to create one file, readme.txt, and add few lines, couple of lines. Hello world, how are you? And just save this file. Oh, I need to open in a write mode, so I can use sudo. Let's use sudo and enter my password. Hello world, how are you? And now save and go back to our code. Now I'm going to read from this file. File name readme.txt, and I'm going to use with open function and pass in file name as file object. And we are going to get those lines from our file by calling file objects method read lines, and then we can print each line. For line in lines, print line, print line. Let's run our code. I will pass in the complete path to a file so I don't get any error. I can get the current working directory by using pwd command. And here is the path. I'll just copy up to this, and after that will be a file name. I need to remove this extra, and now I can run our code, and here are the files from our file. Now we are going to learn how to write to a file. So over here, this will be a file name, and this will be info.txt. I will give the whole path name again. Same code, Python. And we are going to use with open. And here we are going to pass in a file name. We are going to open file in our write mode, passing in W, and as our file object. And we are going to use a write method of our file object to write a line to our file. I love Python programming. And just run our code. So there are no errors. So now we are going to check that file. You can open that file and check the content. On Linux, I can use cat command, cat and the path and file name. Let's say code Python and our file name info.txt and hit enter. And we can see this line added to our file. I love Python programming. Now we will learn how to append to a file. So we have this file already, info.txt. Over here, we are going to change mode to append mode and also add a new line. So our text goes to the next line. I love Java programming too. And now run our code. No errors. Let's see the content of our file. And we can see the I love Java programming to also append it to our file info.txt. Now we are going to learn about exceptions. Exceptions help you respond appropriately to errors that are likely to occur. You place code that might cause an error in the try block. Code that should run in response to an error goes in the except block. Code that should run only if the try block was successful goes in the else block. Let's see how to catch an exception. First, we are going to prompt the user for number of tickets. How many tickets you need. And save in our num ticket variables, num tickets. And here we are going to surround our code with a try and a set block. So over here, num tickets, we will try to convert the user input into integers. If user entered the wrong data, then we are going to catch the exception. If over here we are going to add the set block, set value error, and we are going to print the message. This uppercase over here. Please try again. Else we are going to print you need, or you entered, you need, and I will use F string over here. You, you need here number of tickets. Tickets. Let's try our program. And when we run our program, we get this prompt, how many tickets you need. I will enter 5, and there are no errors, so we print you need 5 tickets. I will run the program again with the wrong input. So over here I will enter, instead of number, I will enter a string hello, and we get the exception over here. Please try again. So this video provides an overview of the basics of Python, including variable, list, dictionaries, function, classes, exception, and more. I hope you like this video, and share and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Awesome Code, and keep supporting me, and thank you for watching.